that the highest king would welcome me. I was lost, but he brought me in. Oh, his love for me. Oh, his love for me. Who the Son sets free, oh, is free indeed. I'm a child of God, yes I am. In my Father's house, there's a place for me. I'm a child of God, yes I am. I am chosen, not forsaken. I am who you say I am. You are for me, not against me. I am who you say I am. I am chosen, not forsaken. I am who you say I am. You are for me, not against me. I am who you say I am. Oh, I am who you say I am. Yes, I am who you say I am. Who the Son sets free, oh, is free indeed. I'm a child of God, yes I am. In my Father's house, there's a place for me. I'm a child of God, yes I am. I'm a child of God, yes I am.
Hi guys, my name is Mika, and welcome to tcyouth, especially if you're new. We're about to go through some announcements, so stay tuned so you can know how to get plugged in. First, we've got our online devotionals happening throughout the week. Devotionals are ways that we can study the Bible and update each other on what's been going on in our lives. For more information, message your tribe leader, and if you're not part of a tribe yet, then make sure to message us in the chat/our Zoom room, or you can even DM us on Instagram to get connected. Next, we've got Friday Fuel every week at 8 p.m. It's where we play games, watch movies, or have Instagram lives. So make sure to follow us on our Instagram account at thecollective.youth to stay connected. We hope you join the fun this Friday. The last announcement is that we have these tcyouth services every week, same time, same link at 10 a.m. Also, come hang out with us after service and before service where we have games and hang out. That's all for the announcements now. Let's head to the sermon.
Wait. We wanted to let you know that we will be going on a break for 2 weeks and we'll be back on the 11th of July. We hope you have a great summer break, and now let's head into the sermon.
What is up, Collective Youth family? And hey, look, today we have a special one-off as we're going to be talking about how to have a good small group. That's right, we're talking about how to have a good small group, how important it is that we do small groups. Maybe you're here and you've always been like, why do we even do small groups? Why not just a big group? Why not one big group? Why don't we just all get on a Zoom call and be like, Jordan, what do you think? I don't know, Jordan. I don't know, Candace. What do you think, Candace? And maybe Candace is like, I don't know, Jordan, what about Jason? Jason, what do you think? I don't know, Jason, what about Esther? Esther, what do you think? Like, why do we do small groups? And so these things are important. In fact, I think God kind of designed small groups in a way that's good and it's beneficial for us. Before we jump into that, let's take a moment and let's pray together. God, I just pray for today and this Sunday that as we talk about small groups, we would trust that it's a great way for us to connect and open up and share, that we're not just friends, but it's a great way to grow spiritually. So yeah, we thank you for this in Jesus' name. Amen. 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 Well, hey, look, I want to start off with this question, and it's this. When was the last time that you did something that was scary or difficult or new or challenging, and you had a friend that helped you get through it or helped you try it out? For me, it was the first time I ever went surfing. I remember I was, I think, 15 or 16, and I had my friend. He was the associate pastor at the church I was going to at the time, and he was like, "Hey, you want to go surfing?" And I've always wanted to go because I see it on YouTube or I see it everywhere, and I'm like, "Oh, I've always wanted to go surfing. I want to be that surfer guy. I think they're so cool." And I always wanted to, but I never had the chance to get a surfboard. I never had the chance to try to go out there. And so my friend was like, I'll take you. I have a board. And so I was like, okay, let's do it. So he gets me out in the water and he's kind of teaching me the basics. He's like, okay, this is how you paddle and this is how you try to stand up and this is what you do. And so he's teaching me this on the sand, leading up into actually going to the ocean. He's teaching me, and I'm there and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, this is awesome. I feel like I can do it. I've been watching YouTube videos on how to stand up. I think I can do this, Like, have you guys ever done that before? You're like looking up YouTube tutorials on how to do certain things before you do it. And then before you try it, you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know if this YouTube tutorial works, And so I did all the YouTube tutorials. I'm practicing on the beach, and he's teaching me all the little things of what to do. So we finally get in the ocean, and I'm on my board, and then it like hits me where I realize this is a lot harder than it looks, and all these waves are coming at me, and I'm trying to paddle, but I'm so weak because you're using these muscles that you don't normally use. And so finally, I'm like paddling, I'm getting out, and I finally get over the wave break, and I'm so tired at this point. And even then, like as the waves are coming over you, I have this fear of like, oh man, this is intense, this is hard, I gotta get through this. And then what happens is I start thinking, okay, it's time for me to catch my first wave. So I catch my first breath, and I'm finally like, okay, I think I'm ready. And then I start to see a wave come in. So I'm like, okay, I start paddling. And then as soon as I try to stand up, I fall off the board. I don't get up. It took me a lot of tries until finally towards the end of the surfing session, I finally was able to get up and stay. I literally stood up just for a second. But the course it took for me to get there into starting surfing, it took my friend to help me. In fact, I forgot to include this in the story. I was so like tired and I couldn't even get past the waters that my friend literally got off his board and he pulled me. My friend literally pulled me out like from the waters and the surfing. He literally pulled me, from the surfboard. He literally pulled me out to where the waves stopped like breaking into the safe part in the ocean. I was like, this guy's crazy. He literally pulled me. That's how intense it was. But without him doing that and walking me through surfing, getting up on the board, I never could have tried surfing. And so in the same way, when we think about small groups is this place that it's like a safe place where we want you guys to have friends. But in the sense that you guys have friends, we're friends that are here to journey with you as you kind of grow and try these different things in life and grow through these different things in life, that you don't feel alone going through them. You have someone that's there with you to do it with you. And so I know that when it comes to small groups, some of you guys may feel like it's a little weird or tense or different because maybe you've thought this. Maybe you already have friends. What's the point of making more friends? Maybe you just, for now, you don't like some of the people in your group. You're there and you're like, I'd see you. And it's not that I don't like you as a person. I just don't really know you. Like the other one is maybe you don't trust some of the people in your group. The other one, maybe you feel judged if you opened up or if you were honest or if you said anything. Or maybe you felt judged in the past by someone. Or maybe this is another reason why you don't like being a part of a small group is you just don't want to talk to people. You feel closed off. We see, with that said, sometimes when we are carrying these thoughts in our heads, we can tend to think, well, what's the point of doing this small group? What's the point of opening up to people? What's the point of having someone else be a part of my life and my conversation? And the answer to that is spiritual growth. The answer for that is that God's designed not this formula of small groups, but God's designed community in us so that we would grow not only emotionally with around other people, but just like how I had a friend come and really just hold my hand and walk me through surfing in a different experience. In the same way, small groups is this way that we can grow spiritually and grow emotionally and mentally in a lot of different ways as we connect with other people. That's why we do small groups. In fact, it says this. So the Bible starts off like this in the book of Genesis. It says that in the beginning, God, and he created all of these incredibly good things. God created a lot of these different things from like the stars, the oceans, the earth, everything, the mountains, the bugs, the animals. God created everything. And he starts off for the first 2 chapters, he does this. But it says this in Genesis chapter 2, verse 18. It says that the one good thing that God saw out of all the good things that he made was he said that it's not good for man to be alone. How many of you guys have ever felt alone before? Or I'll put it this way, how many of you guys have ever felt lonely before? And the difference between being alone and being lonely or loneliness is that how many of you guys know like you can be comfortable being alone and sometimes you need some alone time and you need some time to go watch anime or read a comic or read a book. Maybe you're tired from all the school that's going on or dealing with family or friend drama, right? Maybe you just think, oh, I just want some me time, right? Maybe that's where you're at. But there's a difference between being alone and being lonely, where you could be surrounded by people, but no one knows what's going on in your heart. Maybe you feel like you feel down, and I'm not going to use the word depressed per se, but maybe you feel like you're just overwhelmed, and no one knows what you're going through, right? You feel alone. And so in that, with that kind of context, God said that in the beginning of his creation, he knew that it's not good for man to be alone. It says that in Genesis, right? But now we come back to this question, well, why does our small groups matter? Because in the same way that we were never designed to be alone, never designed to do life alone, and never designed to be lonely in life, in the same way, small groups is here, and it's designed in a way that we're here to support each other. In fact, we're here to help each other grow spiritually. See, sometimes I think some of you guys, we're growing fast mentally. I think YouTube and everything we watch on Instagram and TikTok, it's making us grow up faster mentally. A lot of you guys know way more things than I knew when I was your age. So many of you guys are growing up mentally. Now, the issue is that some of us aren't growing up emotionally and spiritually. Now, see, why is this important? Is because your mental health and your mental mindset might be here, but if your emotional and spiritual health is here, what's going to happen is in this disconnect, you're going to burn out in life. In this disconnect, there's things that you think should happen and would want to have happen, or you wish could have happened in a certain way because your mind thought it should have been this way, or you expected it to go this way, or maybe you lost expectations in this way. But if you don't develop your emotional and your spiritual health, what's going to happen is in that disconnect, you're going to feel dissatisfied, you're going to feel discontent, you're going to feel like you just don't have any hope anymore, you're going to feel hopeless in the world, you're going to feel like, oh, you know what, what's the point of doing things anymore? But I want to walk us through what it says here in Hebrews. Check this out. This is what it says here in Hebrews. It says this in chapter 10, verse 23 to 25. It says, let us hold tightly without wavering to the hope we affirm. Let's hold tightly to this hope. For God can be trusted to keep his promise. Let us think of ways to motivate one another to acts of love and good works. And let's not neglect our meeting together as some people do, but encourage one another, especially now that the day of his return is drawing near. See, the writer of Hebrews, he's talking to these Jewish Christians that are going through persecution and excommunication. And what that means, excommunication, it means that they're getting excluded out of their communities because they're following Jesus. Now, with that said, this writer of Hebrews is literally saying, hey, don't be afraid to meet together. Now, keeping that thought in mind, it's almost like he's saying, don't be afraid to meet together, even if it means that your life is put on the line. Now, why is he saying this? Why is this so important? Look, this is what the writer of Hebrews is trying to put, is because he knows that if God said it's not good for man to be alone, and these people are in a hard time physically, like maybe these people are going through a hard time mentally, hard time emotionally. Why is the writer of Hebrews saying, hey, don't forsake meeting together, talking, opening up with people around you? Is because of this. I believe that the writer of Hebrews knows that when we meet together, hope happens. Hope happens when you start to meet together and you open up and you share things that you think you aren't comfortable sharing, or you don't think are important, or you don't want to burden people with. See, the issue with you thinking that you're a burden to people is that you're just there surviving, and you're just not believing there's really a sense of hope and joy in your future, but you're just hoping you can get somewhere. But when you can open up in a group of people and open up about life, hope, and when you do that, hope happens. hope happens. And the second thing I believe that the writer of Hebrews is trying to open up here, or trying to talk to us here, is he says that when we do this, we want to spur each other to love and good deeds. That how many of us know, look, some of us in here, when you're in school and you feel like, oh, I'm just over school, I'm so tired of this, I'm so over going through family drama and going through this, I don't know if I could do this anymore. You need some people around you that when you open up, they're going to say like, hey, don't quit, don't give up on school. Push through it. You're almost there. Like, don't give up on summer mode. Like, don't give up on listening to your parents, like you, when you meet together, it's for that reason. It's for this reason that it would spur us up into good things that are good for us. How many, I'm going to repeat this again, like what I said earlier, a lot of us, we grow up mentally because we're learning so much. But if you don't grow up emotionally and spiritually, what happens is there's going to be a disconnect where you're going to lose motivation. You're going to end up feeling like you're disconnected from people, from life. You're going to feel lonely. You're going to feel as if no one understands you. You're going to feel like you're depressed. You're going to be in this place where you feel like the whole world is on you. And the reality is it isn't. You have people around you. People around you. See, the truth is we all need somebody in our life. We do. Again, the Bible is clear. No, God never designed you to be alone. So if you're here and you're like, oh, you know what? I follow the Bible. I really want to follow God's word, but you like to live your life being lonely, yeah, you probably don't follow God's word. Because look what it says. It says that God never designed us to be alone. See, something in us, we're always kind of looking for someone that can speak into our life, someone that we can open up to, someone maybe that's a little bit further than us, or people that are equal peers with us, but we could journey together. And why or because of that, that's why we have small groups, and that's why we have our small group leaders. Shout out to all the small group leaders. This is what we signed up for. We signed up to be a part of your guys' life, TC Youth, into saying, hey, you don't have to do this alone. We've gone through the times that you might have been depressed. I have lost family members. I have almost failed school. I have almost been kicked out of sports teams. I have let my parents down. I have let myself down. Like look at me, guys. There's times that I have messed up and times that I have done things that I shouldn't have. And if I have felt alone, but God has shown me through people that he's for me. And so with that, that's why our small group leaders are here to help you feel like, hey, you don't have to be alone, okay? So let's talk about coming into small groups, some practical tips. When it comes to your small groups, you get what you put in. Okay, you get what you put in. If you come in and you just give surface answers and you're just like, yeah, I think this and this about the Bible and life is cool. And, I know there's a lot of stuff going on in my life, but hey, what do you think, Jason? What do you think, Abed? What do you think, Cleo? What do you think? Like you get what you put in. If you put in just a little bit of surface level stuff, but then no one checks up on you and no one, or maybe you get mad that no one's been there for you, but you're just there putting in surface answers. Don't get mad because you put in little and you get little. Like don't be mad about that. But here I want to put in, or I want to give you just some practical tips on how can we put in stuff, or what can we put into our experience of small groups? Why this is important. Number one, be present. Be present in your small groups. Look, what that means is that it's really hard to be present when you're on a Zoom call. I get it. Sometimes you want multiple Zoom tabs open. Sometimes we have a game open. Sometimes there's different things going on, What it means to be present is that when you're there and someone's opening up about something, you're talking about something, you can actually listen and ask questions and say, hey, I'll just throw names. Ryan. I don't think there's even a Ryan in TC Youth, but hey, Ryan, hey, when you said that about your friends doing this drama behind your back as they're going out and drinking and maybe you went and they made you feel bad. Hey, that happened to me too, man. Let's talk about it. Or hey, one time I was I was also depressed and my teacher said this and oh my gosh, your teacher said that. Dude, my teacher said that. Be present in the conversation. Don't just be drifting and saying it's not important to me, it doesn't apply to me. Maybe the message might not apply to you, but what you have to say could help someone, right? Be present. Number two, create a safe place. TC Youth isn't a place for you to get drama on or get intel on people so you could use it against them. That's sad. In fact, the Bible says that gossip is demonic. And so create a safe place in your small groups where people can be open. No judgment. If people opens up about something, they'll be like, oh, you did that? Oh my gosh. Yeah. You know what? God will forgive you. Oh, but you know what? Maybe this and that, like, stop being a child. Well, I can't say stop being a child because I know a lot of like 22 to like 30-year-olds that still do that, but look, listen, create a safe place for people to open up. In fact, many times when I see people that use gossip or don't create a safe space because they're judgmental and mean, it's because they feel insecure about themselves. They can't create a safe space because they themselves don't feel safe about themselves, So look, create a safe space and a safe place. Last thing, number 3, make it personal. Make it personal. Look, when you come to small groups, don't just try to be surface level and all this stuff. Make it, when a question gets asked, be personal. Don't try to sit there preaching to people about how you think, oh, you should do this, try to do this. Oh, let me tell you about all these Bible verses and answers and all this stuff. Be personal about your own life. Open up about yourself. What are things going on with you? Be personal. Don't just try to give like surface level stuff and all this stuff. You get what you put in. You get what you put in. So be personal, okay? So I love you guys, but imagine this. Imagine what would high school look like for you? What would college look like for you? What would junior high look like for you? If you had people that was around you that always showed up for you, that always encouraged you, and that always spoke to the real you, that always was real with you. What would your high school life look like? Would you make better decisions? Would you feel more secure about yourself? Would you come out more of your shell and say, hey, you know what? I feel believed in. Would you feel more championed? Would you feel more affirmed? Would you feel less lonely? What would it feel like if you had people like that all throughout your college and your high school and your junior high? What would it feel like? And picture that. That's the hope that we want you to have when you're in small groups. So don't forget, guys, you get what you put in, and let's put it into small groups going forward. I love you guys. And let's pray. Jesus, I just pray that for this talk about small groups, we're going to trust that when we talk about small groups is important. It's something that we need. It's not the formula of small groups, it's the opportunity to open up about my life and also be a part of someone else's life, that we can grow spiritually together. And so, God, we thank you that that's the important part of small groups, that we get to grow spiritually together because our spiritual health can affect every part of our other life greatly. So, God, we thank you for this in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Look, I love you guys. Make sure you jump into the Zoom chats for small groups and tribes. We'll see you guys soon.